Bible speaks of three different eras of this world. It speaks of the antediluvian era, the time of creation up to time of Noah. It speaks of this coming Christ return and the world tomorrow. And in Galatians 1:4 it speaks of this present evil world. That's what I'd like to talk about today. In this present evil world, we battle three main things. One of them is Satan, the devil, our adversary, our opponent. In 1 Peter 5:8, Satan, our adversary. Christ battled the ultimate battle against Satan. In Matthew 4:1-11, it records that battle. Immediate gratification from 40 days of fasting, turning stones into bread. He was challenged again to prove who he was, throw himself off of a cliff, and have the angels protect him. And Satan challenged him again with immediate rulership over all the earth, and he wouldn't have to go through what he did in being beaten and put to death. Christ overcame Satan, and he overcame him in James, or led that for us to overcome him in James 4, verse 7. If you'd like to turn there. Submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee. And that's what he did. He resisted all the temptations that Satan slung at him. And Satan fled. He left. Verse 8, draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. And you can utilize this through prayer, through fasting, as Christ did. Thinking of his law and how you can apply it to your life to overcome Satan. The other thing in this present evil world that we battle is this sin-filled society. And it's everywhere. And it's gotten worse and more worse generation after generation after generation. We become more calloused and more used to hearing this, and then the next generation pushes the envelope just a little bit further. The sexual explicit advertisements, sexual explicit movies, violence on movies, violence on television, violence in sports. I love football. I do. I'm not going to deny that. But it's a very violent sport. It's probably something that should not be advocated as Christians. Flag football would probably be the more applicable thing that we should, play. But society has condoned the violence in the movies, and I'm a Marvel fan. I won't lie about that. Stan Lee taught me how to read through the comic books when I was little. The Avengers, Iron Man. As a young kid, and I'm scared to death of spiders. My wife will tell you, if I want to get bit by a spider, I hope it's a radioactive spider. But the movies, they depict a lot of violence. And that's what's in this sin-filled society that we're in. The violence and just the music over the years that I've been listening to music. The music today is filled full of nothing but thieving, killing, carrying guns. It's it's worse and worse, and it gets worse and worse, generation after generation. And what we as Christians should do is learn to choose what's right and what's wrong when we look at it. If you'll flip over to Hebrews 5:14. I want to kind of break into this verse here. But strong meat belongs to them that are full of age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. You can't get away from what's thrown out there in this world. We live in it. But as Christians, we should use this textbook to help us understand what is good and what is evil, what we should be listening to, what we should be watching on television, what we're faced with every day within this world, to know, well, that's violent. To know that's not promoting good Christian behavior, and be able to understand that. The other thing that we fight against in this world is our own carnal human nature. Romans 8:7, human nature is hostile against God. Now, last week when I was asked to speak here, and I sat down this week and I started thinking about what I wanted to do here, and my wife was putting some brownies in the oven, and I had already written down brownies right here when I figured out these 3 talking points that I was going to look at. I was thinking about what I did the week before when it started to snow. My wife started making a pot of stew, so we'd have stew, 2 pans of cornbread. We'd have cornbread and stew because we're going to be cooked up for at least 3 days. Later that morning, she started a pan of brownies. We always put extra chocolate chip. We load our brownies up at home. We hadn't had brownies in a little while. Them brownies come out of the oven. I don't know about you, but I take a brownie, hot brownie, I put it in a bowl, get me 2 scoops of ice cream, strawberry, chocolate, it don't matter, 1 or 2. Drizzle a little Hershey syrup on top of that. Until that bowl's empty, I am in heaven. About most of that day, that pan of brownies were nearly gone. I slipped back in there that night, grabbed me another brownie, stuck it in the microwave, took it out of that microwave with it sizzling in that cup. There's some more ice cream, a little bit of Hershey syrup. I'm in bed. I'm in heaven. Right there with my wife, eating them brownies. Next morning, I don't know, sometime around noon, I was scouting around that kitchen looking for them brownies, how much was left. They're a little Ziploc bag. Right there, 2 brownies in it. And right there on top of the cornbread, which is right there by the vegetable bowl, the onions and stuff that's out there on the counter. There's 3 of us in this house, and there's 2 brownies. I took them brownies and I just dropped them right over there behind that onion bowl, behind the cornbread, went on about my business. Later on, my wife said, there's a couple of brownies still left. Oh yeah, baby, I know. I seen them. I've seen them over there. Out of sight, out of mind. I smashed them brownies that night. I sure did. I coveted them brownies so bad that I hid them. I stole them from everybody in the house, and then attempted to lie about it a little bit. Oh, baby, yeah, I seen them brownies over there. Carnal human nature. Paul talked about this in Romans 7. I'm going to use this here. I like this one better, this version of how we battle our human nature. If you want to turn over Romans 7, 18 and 20. Paul knew he was fighting carnal nature. And in the King James, it's a little difficult read, but in this one here, my wife's Bible, I've flipped through and read in it. Because I fully understand that there is not dwelling within me that is good within my fleshly being, any good. For the desire to do good is present within me. But how to work out that is, which is good, I do not find. For the good that I desire to do, I am not doing. But the evil that I do not desire to do, this I am doing. I'm hiding them brownies. But if I do what I do not desire to do, I am no longer working it out myself, but the sin that dwells within me. Them brownies are very tempting. I figured out that every time I go to the store, if I just buy more brownies, I'll be all right. We don't have to worry about that one pan of brownies and them 2 brownies there in that bowl, and there's 3 of us in this house. Somebody's not getting one. But to overcome that nature and to overcome what we should do, we have to rely on God's good to guide us, to teach us. This present evil world, battling Satan, the devil, we draw near to God and he will draw near to us. We resist Satan and he will flee us. The sin-filled society that we live in, if we can understand and discern that which is good and that which is evil and cling to that which is good, then we can overcome it. The most we have to endure is this flesh body. We have to desire to want to do good and have to follow through with it.